The only thing we have to
Beer.
is
Beer.
itself.
Beer. So many choices.
Only no function beer well without.
Woohoo! Beer!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Busters, where we're going to bring you the news and reviews of some wonderful brews. My name is Dan Baker, joined as always by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner,
and our fermentertainer,
Wayne Baker.
All right, now today we are out and about in a room that I like the decor of.
It's a cozy room.
It's a cozy room, but not only that,
room.
looking around the room, it's decorated with fine artwork, which
geez.
I've noticed every picture has the artist and the, I guess they're selling them, so the price is on it. Every picture's a pig.
It is.
I don't think I've seen one that doesn't have a pig.
It's a theme.
Maybe Steph, is the one behind you a pig? I can't quite see.
That's it's abstract, but we'll call it a pig.
It looks like bacon, actually.
Even better. I mean, that's what pigs turn into, so it's all well and good. But we are on location at Two Rivers Brewing, and we're in Easton, Pennsylvania. Is this officially Easton?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
Downtown.
Well, we have two guys with us who are kind enough to show us around, donate some time, and I'm sure it's going to be a fun time. But guys, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourselves.
My name's Troy Reynard. I'm one of the owners of Two Rivers Brewing Company.
And I'm Josh Bushey, the head brewer of Two Rivers.
Perfect. Guys, thank you so much for having us out here.
Oh, you're welcome.
Looking forward to a lot of the fun that is in front of us. Got to pay some bills first. This episode is brought to you by Audible. It's audibletrial.com/beerbuzz. My God. There's delicious-looking food that's being delivered as I'm trying to do a plug. This is great. Oh, this is great. Oh, my God. I can't concentrate.
I thought you were just fucking up generally. 'Cause I didn't even see that happening.
Delicious.
I was looking at my phone.
All right, let me
Try that again.
Let me try to do this. audibletrial.com/beerbusters. You can sign up for your free 30-day trial. You can download an audiobook. Nobody has time to read anymore. It's a busy, what is it, workaday world? Is that the phrase? Or
It's a rat race.
Dog-eat-dog world. But long story short, let somebody read books to you, because reading is for suckers unless you're paid to read to people. Again, let's hope Audible doesn't listen to
I
these.
really hope they don't listen to your spots, Dan.
Well.
we may get a cease and desist.
Well,
so while you
jokes
still
on them.
can, go to audibletrial.com/beerbusters.
Exactly. audibletrial.com/beerbusters.
Give them business to apologize.
Right,
for this.
exactly. Just keep an extra month after that just to say, I'm sorry. But no, we always appreciate the support that you show to Beer Busters.
And while you're slashing Beer Busters...
Are we really going with that again?
Yeah, you go to patreon.com/beerbusters and become a Beer Busters patron.
Woo!
Help us keep the train running, keep the lights on, as it were. Although we're on location more often than not, so it's somebody else's lights. Keep our microphones on.
Keep our microphones on.
Yeah,
Exactly.
more info on that, go to patreon.com/beerbusters and see how you can become a patron and be awesome.
Yes, and there's cool rewards, too, so it's not just that we're asking for money and you're not going to get anything in return.
Although we're fine with that, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what GoFundMe's for. No. But I'm very excited for what we have in front of us.
Beer.
I dropped the E word, but it's okay. We do have a beer in front of us. We have a sipping beer. What are we sipping on?
What are we drinking, Josh?
This is the Lord Pomfret Sour. It's a lactobacillus soured beer, aged on light oak, and then fermented with raspberries and black currants. So really tart, really super fruity. It's purple with a pink head.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Looks amazing, yeah.
Oh, it tastes great, too. Oh,
Nice.
this is so
Thank
good.
you.
I like the little bit of oak, because you get the tartness of the raspberries and of the beer, and then all of a sudden there's this little something in it. At first I couldn't put my finger on it, and then when you said oak, I was like, that's what that is. It's nice.
Yeah, the tannins make it more drinkable. It's less overwhelmingly sour with
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's not like puckery. It's not jowly. It's a subtle sour, but it's still there and pronounced.
Subtle
nice,
sour.
nice and
Subtle
well-rounded.
sour.
Yes,
Subtle sour.
It's delicious. It's a great beer to start
lacto.
with.
Mm.
I love
Lactobacillus is an amazing. Well, everybody uses Brett. Everybody's like, Brett. But lacto is
All about that Brett.
Yep.
About that
It's
Brett.
not about that Brett anymore.
No.
Stop.
I can and will turn your mic off.
There's actually a beer tangent here. I was reading about just last night where someone brewed a beer and used baby formula in place of lacto.
Why?
Just because. I'm not sure why.
Is that going to be featured on There's Weird in My Beer?
No.
Okay. All right. Even if it were, I promised Steph and I wouldn't remember.
Figure that out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't.
That doesn't make any sense.
I
No.
glossed over it. I didn't really get read into detail. I was researching today's Happy Fun Time game, which is not There's Weird in My Beer. But it was,
Let me guess,
yeah, it was
Libation or
strange.
Fabrication?
How'd you guess?
Your go-to game.
Baby formula. I wonder. Has anybody? I'm not going to finish that sentence.
All right, let's do the news.
Let's do the news. Yeah, I'm done talking. Until right now, I'm not done talking anymore.
Until right now.
So there's one what I consider big story that happened as of recording this week, and it has to do with a particular brewery that we have local to us in Downingtown.
Oh,
And
yes.
Also a brewery in New York. Well, having just marked 20 years in the craft brewing industry, Victory Brewing Company proudly announces a landmark alliance with Southern Tier Brewing Company under a parent company called Artisanal Brewing Ventures. As the first major transaction of 2016 within the rapidly evolving craft beer industry, this union represents a new model for craft beer partnerships by preserving brewery independence while pooling deep collective resources. The new strategic framework between ABV, Artisanal Brewing Venture, Victory and Southern Tier provides capital, security, and vision for the future. It's a pretty lengthy press release, but one thing I like here is that under the umbrella of ABV...
Do you think they did that on purpose?
I
ABV?
would be
ABV,
surprised if
It's
not.
so close.
Yeah.
It's so close.
Victory and Southern Tier will independently operate their breweries, commanding a joint capacity of over 800,000 barrels of potential annual production. The alliance creates one of the largest brewers in the Northeast and ranks within the top 15 craft brewing companies in the United States, according to the Brewers Association, with combined 2015 shipments of over 250,000 barrels. What I really like here is that it's not only are they going to stay pretty much owned and operated by themselves, this helps with distribution because the brands will become increasingly available to loyal and new customers across their combined markets.
Yay, more pumpkin.
Hey, Southern Tier has good beers.
You know what's
okay?
funny? I saw on one of the social media outlets somebody commented, maybe Southern Tier will make good beer now. And I chuckled.
Fruity Pebbles.
I chuckled.
Unrelated.
Unrelated. Sort of.
Unrelated.
Sort of.
The craft beer community is at its most critical moment since its inception, as larger brewing corporations have bought into our grassroots movement, irrevocably changing the marketplace. Like-minded brewers such as Victory and Southern Tier can preserve our character, culture, and products by banding together, said Bill Kowaleski, founder and brewmaster of Victory Brewing. Victory and Southern Tier, their leadership teams and employees will remain intact. So this really isn't going to affect local operations, which I like because sometimes when you have mergers or anything along these lines, the little people get axed, but that is not the case here. It's a concept that was specifically designed by and for craft brewers, says Finn DeMink, who's founder of Southern Tier. But it's a pretty lengthy, pretty good press release that gets a lot of the details across. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens this year and in the future as these two relatively well-known brands get to join forces, and I wonder if that could lead to a collaboration at all.
I'm certainly
Nobody
sure it
was
could.
as excited as I thought they would be when I said that.
Yeah. Okay.
But here's where I'm at. So, Wayne, I know one of your favorite beers is Red Thunder.
Absolutely.
It's a fantastic beer.
Yes, it is.
White Thunder.
One of my
White
favorite
Thunder.
beers happens to be Southern Tier Creme Brulee, even though I feel like I will have diabetes if I finish an entire bottle of it.
You
it's
probably will.
more than likely. But I really enjoy that beer a lot. Victory's got a lot of great offerings. Golden Monkey's gotten me drunk more times than I really should admit. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, and I feel it's for the best.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like, with the big conglomerations, with all the buy-ups from the other AB, there has to be some sort of reaction.
Right.
And it's kind of like, banding together, getting these bigger, better-known craft breweries to sort of pool their resources and work together, as long as they establish at the beginning that they're still going to be their own independent
Right.
entities, which seems to be very much the case.
Yeah.
Here, you just got to be careful that this doesn't just create another smaller beer conglomerate.
basically. Yeah. I get the feeling that they won't, because everything I've seen, and there were a lot of articles about this, but everything I've seen so far basically, especially in the Philly area, says that Bill Kowaleski is going to keep this in this. He has the same vision in mind that he always has. It's just helping them get into the next step while still taking a stand against the giant conglomerations that are out there.
Right. And I mean, that's big beer is huge, but craft beer is huge as well. It's just made up of lots and lots of small breweries, as opposed to one big giant company. So the way that you continue to stay relevant in the market and continue to sort of push back against the consolidation and the
Damn the man.
Yes.
Save the
damn the
empire.
man, save the empire. But it's cool. It's to create these sort of guilds or coalitions between craft brewers.
Did the article mention, is the plan to include other craft breweries in the future? Is this something that's going to grow, or is it something just between the two of them?
So far, from what I've seen, just the two of them, but from the sound of it, I can't imagine, this is just me speculating, I can't imagine that they would turn down if there's another well-known regional brewer like that would want to get involved. I can't imagine they would. So, Bill Kovaleski, if you want to shed light on that, you can reach out to us at beerbusterspodcast.com.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on our podcast.
Yeah, of course, for many, many reasons. many, many reasons.
Reason one, beer.
Beer.
Well,
Victory makes great beer.
Victory makes
They make
amazing
very good beer. Speaking of good beer, let's talk about Two Rivers.
Let's.
You
let's.
seemed very surprised over there when I said that.
Very humble crew over here.
Yes. Well, I'm happy to be here. I like the decor. I mean, the first beer is starting off with Steph. Don't give me that. The first beer
It is a gorgeous building.
and room.
You just love the pigs.
The first beer is setting us up for a great night. I mean, if this is any indication of what's ahead of us. Now,
I have a very, very important question to top off the interview. Is this the pig room? Are the other rooms also themed with other animals?
No, not at all. But the pig art is from the Bacon Fest, Easton's Bacon Fest, that was held in early November. And it was a juried show at the Bacon Fest, but then they wanted to exhibit it for longer, so they brought it up here. And we have a long-standing relationship with both Bacon Fest and the farmers market, so it made a lot of sense. So it is all pigs, and it is, bacon seeds, really, because these pigs are going to become bacon.
These are bacon seeds.
great.
Oh, they'll become other things as well, but mostly
Pork
bacon.
chops.
Pork chops, yeah.
Steph seems so happy
Jell-O.
in the middle, literally the middle of this conversation.
Yep.
Yep.
We've got the vegan surrounded, the vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Is that food meant for this beer?
No.
No.
Okay, so it's just going to sit there taunting us. Gotcha.
Well, I just don't want... I don't want it to get cold.
I know.
Steph had a stroke of genius, so we're actually going to go a little out of order and
Hey,
do this.
thanks.
Hey, yeah, we're going to go out of order and do this.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me!
So this is a combined part of the show, so we're all stops are out.
I support this, by the way.
Yes, me too. And I find it weird that you're saying you support this, as there are literally hog wings
No,
on the
I
table.
support the tasting segment being moved up. That's what I
Well,
support.
Well, this is a little... Well, try to make it
beer
less,
sooner.
Yeah, less segmented and more natural. But Steph had a very good point. The food that was brought out that derailed me as I was talking about Audible, it was over there getting cold, looking lonely. So we figured we would pair the food that's out now with the beer that it's meant to go with. And as we do so, of course, we'll get to know you guys and get to know Two Rivers. But we have and I've already forgotten the name, the Banker's Brown. Is that what this is?
Yep.
Cool. With
Not the Baker's Brown.
Not the Baker's Brown, yeah. But with these hog wings that look amazing.
And an amazing pickle plate.
And an amazing pickle
Yes, and
plate
Steph
for
has
the
the,
vegetarian.
The
There's-
vegetarian vegan option over here.
Pickles and carrots and green beans and pineapple, which
Yes.
I'm super excited
Pickled
about.
pineapple, it's wonderful.
Yeah, hot pepper.
Pickled
Banana peppers.
pineapple.
Yes.
I've never had pickled pineapple.
This looks
delicious.
amazing.
It's really good.
Absolutely amazing.
That sounds really
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Interesting.
So,
Sorry, it's right in front of me. You can't have any.
why don't we start, Josh? Why don't you tell us a little bit about this beer?
Yes.
Banker's
please.
Brown is kind of our standard craft beer offering. Everyone's had a brown ale at this point. Toasty, some coffee, light chocolate, moderate alcohol. Plays well with so many of our foods, including the hog wings that are in front of you right now. And it was named after our banker.
There's a story behind it.
There's a story behind every one of your beers, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the hand we've been dealt. It's a historic building. Easton was a very historic city. It's an old city. We're called Two Rivers because the confluence of the two rivers was an important part of Pennsylvania's history. So the Banker's Brown, though, when my wife and I met with our banker for the first time, I asked him what kind of craft beer he likes, what style. He said, well, I like a brown ale. I said, look, Jim, if you give us a loan,
I'll name a beer.
we'll name a beer after you.
Sold.
Nice.
So
Here we are.
I came through on my promise.
Perfect. I like it. It's got a nice like malty characteristic to it, but not overwhelming.
Yeah. Oh no, super drinkable. I mean, this is one of those beers when you want to have more than one type of thing.
And it's only, what, 4.5, if I see right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right, just a hair above session if you ask Lou Bryson.
Or if you ask Dan Baker, it's well under, but that's
It's about 10% too low for Dan, but it's very nice. It's got a great sweetness to it, but still at the same time it's very drinkable, and it's not like a lingering sweetness. It cleans up well.
Yeah, which is why it goes well with so much of our food here. A lot of our food are these kind of darker meats and pork products, so it really works with all those flavors.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's important as a restaurant to have beers that can pair with so many different kinds of foods. Because not everybody wants to order the beer that's meant to go with that dish. I mean, those of us that are into craft beer, have knowledge about craft beer, we know that certain beer flavors go with certain food flavors and certain ones do not. So having some options like that where it can be a go-to, that it's a great beer and it'll go with pretty much anything you order, that's a good standby.
Yeah, and if everything's a hop bomb, it just doesn't work with your menu or desserts or things like that.
For sure. What's the verdict, guys?
I haven't lived until right now.
It's delicious.
This is amazing.
I guess you guys aren't eating any, by the way.
We're waiting on
You're
one
not
more
sharing.
order.
I'd share my pickles.
Speaking of the food, this place started out originally as a restaurant for quite a while,
Right.
with the intention of eventually becoming a brewery.
Yeah, it was
brewing company.
the best laid plans. We initially thought we'd be open as a restaurant for about 6 months and be brewing after that, but a lot of things kind of tripped us up on that. So because it is a 200-year-old building, and it was pretty much ready to fall down when we bought it. So we had to put a lot of effort into the structural reinforcement of it. And then as kind of we got deeper in the project, of course, you need to start making some money to bring it back in. So that's why we did it in stages, and we got the first floor open as a restaurant, and then we did the second floor, and then we got to work on the brewery. Plus we had 3 different engineers working on the brewery plan. All 3 of them had different concepts of how we should do it. So we finally had to work through all that, and there's a lot of structural steel back in the brewery. If there's ever a tornado headed towards Easton, I'll be in the brewery.
Nice.
I'll be in the brewery.
For several reasons. I mean, not just the safety and the beer. I mean, you got it all there. So that's pretty awesome.
And it was a long journey from restaurant to brewery. So like close to 2 years?
I think 2.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
It just seemed like 2 weeks, though. about 2 weeks.
Well, that's what I told
that.
people.
I doubt that.
That's what I told people for years. Oh, we'll have beer in about 2 weeks. But that got old.
I find it interesting, and I admire that you thought to open as a restaurant first, even though it wound up being longer than you wanted it to, because that lets your food take the front stage for a little bit. Because a lot of times people think of places like this as a restaurant that just happens to have beer.
Well, and that that was the mixed blessing about it, because when we started the project, there was really only one chef that I wanted, and that was Jeremy, who we have. And it's a shame he couldn't be here tonight because he's such a big part of this project. I mean, he hammered nails and painted stuff and before he ever got to cook. But Jeremy had worked at Porter's Pub a couple of years ago right down the street, and my wife and I went there frequently. And when Jeremy was cooking there, I never ordered off the regular menu because he always had a special that was so amazing that I had to have it. So I kind of suckered him in when we started doing our business plan because...
Did you tell him you'd name a beer after him, too?
No, but, I didn't really know much. I also own a coffee shop up on College Hill, so I didn't know much about a full-scale restaurant. So I reached out to Jeremy on Facebook and I said, look, can you just sit down with me and tell me what equipment we'd need, how many staff we'd need, and all this. And, at the end of the third meeting, he was so gracious to offer that up. But at the end of the third meeting, he goes, if you want me, I'm in.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it all worked out really well. And he's been with us, like I said, since we were working on the building.
So now that you finally do have the brewery up and running, you're making and selling your beer, do you think that wait was beneficial? Do you think it affected...
Well, I think it was good for us to develop a culinary reputation. our food, we've been on Channel 69 News. Jeremy's won a bunch of contests. He's won the chili cook-off down at Pearly Baker's 3 times. He won Bacon Fest contest the first year. So, he's very well recognized for our food. And it's a gastropub menu. We do with kind of a lean towards Southern and Creole cooking.
These hog wings are fantastic. So,
and that's, Easton has a lot of restaurants, and that was one of the things we didn't want to do was just have another bar with chicken wings. And, we tried to carve out some different things that nobody else had in town. And you're going to taste, I think, most of those tonight.
Yep.
So why not just say, forget it, we're not going through all this hassle of dealing with the structural issues. Why not just open a restaurant? Why did it have to be a brew pub?
Well, we were right in thinking that Easton really needed a brew pub. There wasn't one here. The closest brew pub to us is Fegley's in Bethlehem. And, the difference since we put our own beer on tap in June, instantly our top line went up 30%.
Wow.
So, it sets us apart from, Easton's got about 22 full-service restaurants. So we had to have something that really kind of put us over the top.
Right. So there has to be a good story, of course, behind we have a coffee shop, let's open a brew pub. I'm sure there's a story.
Well, there really is. We were up in Cooperstown at Omi Gang's Belgium Comes to Cooperstown Festival.
Epic.
With our friends Brad and Judy Nelson. And, now they're our business partners. But so after a day of drinking a lot of beer, we're back at the B&B, sitting around, drinking more beer, smoking cigars.
Wait. You guys didn't camp? You're supposed to camp when you go to...
Well...
No? All right.
No.
I'm sorry. Continue.
But so, we were talking about the different beers we tasted, and, we've traveled together as two couples for, better part of 20 years. And we always gravitate towards brew pubs and breweries. And, we were talking about the things we like in brew pubs and thought that we could put it all together. Because there's a lot of brew pubs that have good food and crappy beer or crappy food and good beer. So, we thought we could put it all together.
Do both.
And then
why not?
At the same time, Kathy and I, my wife, were thinking about opening a second coffee shop. And so it got to the point where I had negotiated a contract for a space, and we had to make a decision. And I said, Kath, what do you want to do? And she looked at me and she said, fuck it, let's open the brew pub.
Nice.
That should be like your slogan. Like that should be over the bar.
Fuck it,
Let's open a brew pub.
So that's where it all started. And then we got our friends to come on board with us and got it done.
In that story, Steph, I actually hear a lot of you. You travel a lot. You go to a lot of brew pubs. I'm sure you have things you like and don't like about certain places.
But has not, to my knowledge, ever owned a coffee shop.
If you're hiding that from us, we'll find out.
I don't know that I was recently I was like, okay, I need to stop it with the coffee. I'm like going no more coffee.
No.
But then I read that article about how it helps your liver, coffee.
Oh, that's
so
right.
I'm like, well, now I need to start drinking it again. Oh, here. So you serve coffee here, right?
Yes, we do.
Is it coffee from your coffee shop?
Yep.
I'd be surprised if it
I
wasn't.
need to have coffee tonight then.
So what prompted opening up a coffee shop then?
Well, I worked in higher education for about 15 years and lost my job there and figured I didn't want to be involved with vice presidents and strategic 5-year plans with measurable outcomes.
Oh, boy.
And all that kind of stuff. So my wife and I always had kind of entrepreneurial fantasies. So
Or nightmares.
now we have the nightmare.
Yeah.
Right.
But so, we decided, to do that. So, and that's, it's called Cosmic Cup Coffee Company. We've been here in Easton for almost 11 years.
Wow.
So you already have a good reputation in the town here for being a great business owner, and
that was I think part of why we could do what we did, because the bank that I banked with for the coffee shop That's the bank that really stepped up for us with loans and being part of, because you can't just put it together with one loan.
Right.
We've got like 5 different loans, a couple SBA loans. We have a loan from the city's redevelopment program, the mortgage, plus a loan from Merchants Bank.
It's like a college education, all the loans it takes for that.
Well, that's why a lot of projects fail. Never get off the ground, because you really have to put together this funding strategy to really make it work, and it never seems to be enough. The old rule of thumb, think about what you're going to need and then double it.
Yeah.
That's really true. That's not bullshit.
Actually true. And scary.
Yes. Yeah.
So, Josh, how and when did you come into the picture?
I came in at the fun part, the tail end, when I could start making beer.
When all the messy stuff was done.
Yeah, I was in between brewing gigs last April, and Troy needed a brewer to finish the job, and we got together and made it happen.
Very cool. Where do you bring experience from?
I started home brewing out of Keystone Homebrew and the Lehigh Valley Homebrewers Club, but then I worked 6 years over at Fegley's Brew Works. Started out on the packaging line, putting the cages on the cork and cage bottles, and then after a few months of not being awful at that and showing up while sick and hurt and everything, they gave me, clean these kegs. Then I did that well, and then clean these tanks. And
prove to us you'll do all the crappy jobs first.
Exactly.
Oh, and then one day I slammed my knee into a valve and was injured, and he said, well, you earned a batch of beer now. So I got to brew some beer.
Oh, nice.
And the rest is history. Yeah, I ended up head brewer of the Bethlehem Brew Works for a period, and then over here.
That's pretty awesome.
And you started homebrewing, 2004, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
right when I moved to the Valley, I was mailing off our closing papers to our place down in D.C., and the FedEx drop box was right next to Keystone Homebrew.
No way.
I did not end up mailing that envelope that I had to, and my wife was pretty angry that night, but I came home with a homebrew kit, which has served me well.
In the long run, yeah.
Exactly. Who was it? We had someone on the show who worked as a waiter or something, I think at Iron Hill. And was so terrible at it.
Vince.
Yeah, and he
Vince,
said he was so terrible at it. They finally said, we like you, we don't want to fire you. Do you want to just work in the brewery?
Yeah.
And then
Look like you can carry heavy things. Come back
flash
here.
forward, and he opens his own place. So it's pretty
We don't
awesome.
want you around people. Go clean kegs.
But it's cool to see, I think a lot of people homebrew for a long time, and they get really good feedback, and they win some awards and that. And they jump in head first. I'm going to open my own place. It's cool to see somebody start, washing kegs, bottling
Everyone
stuff,
has to pay their dues.
Oh, yeah, and it's good to make those mistakes on someone else's dime, too.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a very good point.
So do you have kind of full creativity, full control over the beers here?
Yeah, I mean, we have to keep the flagships on. And,
Of course.
And
Were the
they're
flagships
great
established before you came on?
Yes.
Yes.
Those were.
Yeah, the recipes were not, the styles and names were. So we nailed those down, and then the other 5 to 9 other flavors that we have on tap at any time is whatever I feel like. You try to keep a good mix, though. I can't have 10 beers like that Lord Pomfret on tap.
I'd be okay with that.
Oh, yeah, what's wrong with that? I'm sorry. Yeah. Is there a problem with that?
I do make them brew certain things. So.
Well,
Yeah, you got to have you have to
Somebody
have a dark
has to
beer
steer
on.
the
You have to have
ship.
some hoppy
Somebody
beers
has to steer
on.
the
It's
Right. Something for everyone.
I did make them brew pumpkin ale.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well,
it hurt.
sorry.
It really hurts.
you got to
You
give
know,
the people what they want, unfortunately.
A solid
sorry.
business decision. I'll give you that.
But we did it with local stuff.
Yeah, we actually
Good,
put pumpkin
good.
in the mash, and we did it the right way.
from Shoal Orchards over in Bethlehem. So
Are there any coffee beers featuring your coffee?
it's funny you should mention that.
Good
Oh, is it
question.
now?
It's in the fermenter right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so about 2 weeks from now when we're talking, so probably when this goes live, we'll have it on tap.
A good reason to come back.
Cosmic Cup Coffee Brown.
Perfect.
Cup coffee.
Oh,
brown.
and it's a brown.
Yeah, it's the Banker's Brown, just a hair more alcohol. So,
that
so
makes me so
6.5% is what I'm shooting
I mean,
for. on
there's
that.
too many coffee stouts out there. You need more coffee browns.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I concur.
So did I hear that you did a collaboration brew with Weyerbacher?
Yeah.
For Lehigh Valley Beer Week?
Yeah, Chris and Matt from Weyerbacher, 2 of the brewers over there, came over, and we were talking about, well, we could do an IPA. Well, there's a million IPAs. Weyerbacher's known for imperial things. We should do that. And I said, I have a lot of lacto lying around. Why don't we do something with that? So we did a young brune, a sour brown, kind of that quick sour like the first beer we had, aged on a darker oak blend. A lot of dark, high charred oak, medium char, and then a little bit of light char. So it has more of that vanilla coconut flavor. And then we added sour cherries and raspberries to that.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, we'll try that a little later.
Oh.
Yay. When I saw that you had done the collab with Weyerbacher, I figured at that point you knew Moose.
Yeah, I love Moose.
He's a good guy. We've had him on a couple of times.
Nice. Hi, Moose.
Hi, Moose. How are you?
Hopefully he comes tonight. He said he was.
I would hope so. I mean, he works like right down the street,
He does.
pretty much.
So he has no excuse. So come on, Moose.
In fact,
They have vegetarian food.
I need to see that beard.
Yeah, his
I wonder
beard
how
is
long it is
impressive.
now. Holy cow!
His beard is very impressive. Good guy.
So-
And you, by the way, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Dan. You play the banjo?
That was my question.
Yeah, not well, but yeah.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
I have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I've been taking lessons for 2 years now, and I'm serviceable.
Serviceable.
Why banjo?
Because it sounds awesome. What do you mean?
Thank you. That's a good answer. Well, no, everybody's like, oh, I'm going to play the guitar, but you don't hear of many people being like, I'm going to play the banjo. So I have mad respect.
Well, and you don't hear anyone saying they want to play clawhammer banjo either. This isn't bluegrass. This is old timey.
Nice.
You don't happen to have a banjo with you
No.
tonight, do you? Oh man.
Can we get an impromptu?
I was worried you were going to pull one out from behind.
Well,
Like,
it's
next
funny
thing-
you say.
We happen to have a banjo.
We have a banjo, and he's here tonight.
Josh, how do you tune a banjo?
You hit it with a hammer.
With the wire cutters?
Same way you tune an oboe.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
So as long as we're getting
Banner.
personal, you also have 6 cats, according to my notes.
Yeah,
long as we're
I'm
getting
a crazy cat lady, yes.
With some interesting names. I particularly like Django and Toby Meowguire.
Oh my God!
Well, let's start. I met Satchel.
Does he play
sitting-
Spider Meow?
Well, I was at Porter's Pub one night, drinking outside on their patio, and I looked down in the distance and I saw what I thought was a rat. And it kept coming closer. I'm like, oh, that's a cat. That's cute. And then it jumped on our table. My wife screamed, and then it hopped into my lap. And,
And then
Satchel,
you're like, we're taking it home.
yeah. Satchel came home, and then we adopted Django. Then we got her brother Winston, who we at the same time, and he right before we went back to adopt him, he had been in a fight, so he's missing one eye now.
Aww.
And when we were there getting him, I kept getting headbutted by another one-eyed cat, so we took her home. And then from there we started doing hospice for animals. So we take on non-adoptable
Right.
short-term residents, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
But Toby Meowguire is one of them.
Aw.
And so is Carly. But he's actually we just permanently adopted him though. We've had him 2 years. The tumor in his throat hasn't grown.
Oh wow!
He was completely shaved when we met him, and now he's a long-haired cat, and he's completely insane. So he's living with us.
He needs a beer named after him.
Yes, that's a good
Like
idea.
a good roasty imperial stout or something.
I don't know if I'm allowed to name beers
No.
after cats anymore.
Oh,
my,
no.
my last
Anymore?
gig, my last gig at Bethlehem, I made a session bitter, Satchel's Super Session Ale, and it was on tap about 9 months.
Wow.
So I don't think I'm allowed
Oh,
to
is
name.
that the kiss of death?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It could be like your code name, like while it's fermenting, that's what you can write on
This
it.
is Satchel.
That's Satchel.
Until
That's not what it's going to be
You
on
can
the
name
menu.
all your
the
fermenters.
tanks.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Hey,
see,
there you
we
go. You got the
I'm
okay
sure
from the
you
boss.
have enough current and former cat names that you can name every piece of equipment in that brewery.
Yeah. I think I can.
This is what we do in Beer Busters. We negotiate compromise. There you go.
That's right. That's right. So talk about the brewery for a little bit.
Yes,
I mean,
please.
because you took us on a little VIP tour, which was really cool. But I am super impressed by what you've done with the space up there. So I don't know, Josh, if you want to.
We jammed it in. It's a.
certainly did.
It's a 7-barrel system. Direct fire kettle, and then there's seven barrel fermenters, and that's the brewery is on the second floor of our building, kind of hidden away in the back, so I can brew while we're open and no one yells at me.
Well, and I mean, I'd like to think that craft beer is far enough along where you can drink beer in a brew pub and not have to see the tanks in the dining room to realize that the beer's brewed here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know what stainless steel looks like.
Yeah.
They all look the same.
Yeah, I think it's cool if you have the layout to present the brewery to your dining area. Nice, that's cool, but I mean, don't go out of your way to do it. And it's kind of cruel to the brewers.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like in a zoo, and everybody's watching you when you're brewing.
Oh, and if
it can
you
be messy work.
and if you're not behind glass, CIP pumps are loud. You have to be done by the time the restaurant
That's true.
opens.
Yeah, that
And
as
that's
well. Yeah.
And they don't want you in your boots all wet and covered with grain and like
Grumpy.
Yeah, and grumpy and dirty in the restaurant space.
And I want to crank my music up.
True. That's the one thing that makes tank cleaning day tolerable is playing music.
Oh, it's amazing the echo you get when you sing into a tank.
It's like singing in the shower.
When I was at Iron
Only
Hill,
better.
when
It's
we
all
would,
STP, I'm guessing, right?
no, we did the Rocktoberfest. I got to brew that while I was there, and we played Rammstein all day. It was
All right, that's
amazing.
fitting.
It was awesome.
That's fitting, and I approve.
It was awesome.
Wow.
This is more a Bottle Rockets house here as far as music goes.
The music has to match the brew.
Definitely. Yeah, so the 7 fermenters on the second floor along with the brew house. And then we have 10 serving tanks up on the third floor, kind of on its own little balcony area. And those serve directly to the two bars.
And the building kind of dictated kind of how the layout went, because it is. You guys can notice it's a very narrow and long building, so we didn't have a ton of space to work with. And the second floor was a concrete pad with some steel beneath it, and we naively thought that that'll probably work. And come to find out, no, sir, that will not work. So,
you remember that adage, take what you think you'll need and then double it? This is where it comes into play.
But the floor height, because it's an old hotel, the floor height isn't that high either. So, that meant we couldn't put a 15-barrel system in. So I think we really benefited from what we got, because by virtue of the 7 fermenters and the 10 bright tanks, we can really push a lot of different styles of beer through. Yeah. And I think that's really cool. We always have like at least 12 of our own styles on, maybe 1 or 2 guest beers on tap. And then that'll be a little different for Beer Week, right? Because we have the Lehigh Valley Beer Week beer on tap. We're doing a event with Weyerbacher on Monday night, so we'll have a Weyerbacher on as well. So 2 Weyerbacher's actually. We're gonna have the new Line Street Pills, and we're gonna have some Quad on tap.
Wait, Weyerbacher's doing a Pills?
That caught me by
Breaking
surprise
news.
too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Breaking news.
Hit the music.
What is happening? Breaking news. There it is.
Weyerbacher. Wait, is it an Imperial Pilsner?
I don't think
It's
so.
12%
No.
Pilsner.
No, it's a session beer.
Wow.
Wow.
Exclusive on Beer Busters.
Yeah, I don't think it's Czech Saaz, though. I don't think it's a traditional Pilsner. I think they use
Yeah, I'm
American
not
hops
sure.
in that.
I'm not sure.
We'll find out.
We
They
need
do
to find out.
occasionally make smaller beers.
Occasionally, not very
Occasionally.
often. But
They
Pills,
started with smaller beers,
Yeah.
but they didn't sell much of it. And
They got popular with big
and that's
beers.
why Dan changed his focus and went with the bigger beers, because that was an underserved niche.
Yeah.
That's what people want.
And now they've mastered it.
They certainly have. Yeah, absolutely.
I had Tart Nouveau when I was out at a bar the other night, and I forgot how good that beer was.
Speaking of great low alcohol beers they make, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really low. Isn't that like
It is.
Riesling?
Yeah, it was. I forgot how low it was, but
Shockingly low.
I mean, that's just good. The
It's
range they
lemonade.
have. Yeah.
It's like,
No, the range they have is great. That quad. Oh God, that quad. And
Oh,
Mary Monks.
God, that quad.
Oh God, that quad. Mary Monks. Can't forget that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, as far as beer goes, you guys up here in the Lehigh Valley, I mean, you're in good company. It may not be, tons and tons of breweries like concentrated down in like the Philly area, but what's up here is top quality
Well,
stuff.
we just did a roundtable discussion to promote Lehigh Valley Beer Week the other night, and as we were talking, it really became apparent. None of the beer up here sucks.
Yeah.
And I think that's great, because I've been at some of the nanos that are popping up where the beer's not really that great.
yeah, we've
And
been to them too.
I think we're fortunate that the breweries that have come online now, all of them do some pretty decent beer and different stuff. So there's a wide range of different kinds of beer that you can get in the Lehigh Valley now.
Well, I imagine with the space, the answer is going to be no, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is there any plans to bottle any beers in any way, even if they're just small releases here at the brewery?
Yes.
Get back to your Cork and Cajun days?
Oh, yeah. We have We have a batch of beer bottle conditioning upstairs right now.
Under the heater, right?
Under the heater. Six Finger Sam. It was. We got some Chardonnay barrels in. So we brewed a Saison into those barrels and added 2 strains of Brettanomyces, and then blended that off into a separate Albrecht beer that we had brewed. Threw it in some bottles, and we'll try some in a little bit.
Yum.
Would you say that beer is all about that Brett?
It's all about that Brett. No lacto. All
No
about that
lacto.
Brett.
Wayne, I warned you.
Wayne has been cut off.
So why
I apologize, Overlord.
why Six Finger Sam? I like that name. Where'd that come from?
Well, Six Finger Sam, Easton was a wet town during Prohibition. And
That's the way I like it.
there was also a lot of gambling that went on, and maybe some ladies who provided comfort.
Well, one of the terms in New York for having a night out during Prohibition was "I'm going to Easton."
Yeah. So
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
so there was
awesome.
That needs to be a beer name too.
Going to Easton.
Yes.
there was a young man named Sam Brunio, and Sam was born with 6 fingers on one hand. He had it removed, but the name stuck, Six Finger Sam, and he was a concierge of the Carnal Delights of Pine Street. So young Sam would meet visitors down at Center Square, and he would take them in a taxi to Pine Street, which is literally the next alley over behind our building, which is very close to Center Square. But he'd make them get in a taxi, and then to ensure repeat business, he'd have the taxi go all over town till it finally came back to Pine Street, hook them up with whatever they desired, and then take them back the roundabout way. So the next time they came to town, they needed to seek out Sam to show them where to go again.
Okay. All right.
Sneaky.
He was an entrepreneur.
A sneaky little entrepreneur. Well, this might be a good time to give a shout out to our friends at Saucony Creek. They are finally having the grand opening for their pub. Their gastropub is open right now, but the grand opening is going to be March 5th. So congratulations to them.
All right.
I just thought of them because that was the last time we had food and beer paired on the show together. Well, besides Greg Orth, but
Right.
Greg Orth's in a category of his own. So good for them that that's finally happening, and I'm hoping to get out that weekend and check it out and get an article up on our site. So good for them. Congratulations to Matt and Kirby and
Yeah, way to go, guys.
all them
That's
guys.
great. The pictures that I saw on Facebook
looks awesome.
of the space. I
It's
remember
amazing.
when we were there. I mean,
It looked nothing like that.
it was vaguely the shape that
Yeah.
it is now,
Not nearly as
but
beautiful.
it was definitely under construction, and now it looks gorgeous, looks amazing, and it's going to be an awesome spot to hang out and drink some good beers.
It looks great, yeah. And they're going to have the
Although-
the peach ginger that won the GABF gold
Oh,
medal.
yeah.
They're going to have that.
Oh, nice. When we ran into Matt at Sour Sunday, I believe, now he may have been drinking, but I believe that he said he was going
May
to
have.
break the news of the grand opening with us exclusively.
Well, there you go. I just did.
Yeah. But that's okay. We forgive him. I'm sure he's very excited. It was a long time coming.
So we got another beer that has appeared in front of us, and I like the look of this one a lot. This is the Sterner's Iron Stout, which smells so great.
It really does.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's American style stout. Lots of roast barley, chocolate flavors. A little higher alcohol than like a Guinness or something like that.
I like that the description has flavors of bitter chocolate brownie mixed in with black coffee.
Oh, wow.
And yeah,
Brownie.
That is delicious.
Oh, it does say
this is
that.
so good.
That is really good.
Well, that's that first sip I had. It was like a chocolate brownie when I was writing
Yeah.
the description. So.
It is. It like a chocolate brownie and some coffee in there. Absolutely.
Yeah, and this was one of our great
That's
beers for
good.
great people that we do every month.
Great beers for great causes.
Great causes. Sorry.
Close. You were close.
We started.
I'm not the marketing guy. I make beer.
I make beer.
We started in October because, and it started kind of by accident. Easton is home to Larry Holmes, the Easton Assassinator, former heavyweight champion of the world, and we had brewed a Doppelbock, and so we wanted an Ader name to go with the Doppelbock.
Of course. You have
So we named it the Easton Assassinator. And locally, they were trying to put together the last bit of funding to put a statue of Larry Holmes down by the river. And so we did a fundraiser that coincided with the release of the Doppelbock. And it was great. We had about 100 people come out. We had posters of the champ that he was signing. Glassware, T-shirts. And it went really well. So that kind of gave me the idea, why don't we do something like this once a month or so? Because one of the things when you start with a brew pub, it's a little different than if you're doing packaging brewery. Like a packaging brewery, you're going to have a finite number of beers to name over time.
Right.
In a brew pub with a 7-barrel system and 10 fermenters, or 7 fermenters and 10 bright tanks, we're going to produce a lot of different beers.
Yeah, less than a year, and we're almost up to 40 different flavors. So,
So, I was like, oh my God, this is a way to at least once a month have a name picked out for me. And so we started doing a beer release and naming the beer after somebody prominent in the community who's done something for the community. And then we'll raise money for their favorite charity. So the Sterner's Iron Stout, and it's actually kind of really sad because the beer's named after Carl Sterner, a local sculptor, a metal sculptor who's done a lot with the Easton community, and there's an arts trail named after him locally. And what ended up happening was, Josh, are you voguing?
Yeah. Got some jazz hands. I think he was doing YMCA.
It's really freaking me out.
I get antsy. I got to dance.
I know.
Got ants in my pants.
But unfortunately, Carl Sterner passed away today.
So this is for Carl.
This is for
Cheers
Carl.
to Carl.
Cheers to Carl.
But he did large metal pieces of sculpture, and there was his daughter had put a picture of him on Facebook from when he was like 72, and he was jacked yet.
Wow.
He was amazing. Like he was. I said to his daughter, I said, your dad's the oldest badass I know.
That's awesome. There's more food meat.
Yeah, something amazing looking has just been put down in front of us. What is that? Oh, thank you.
That's our poutine.
I was just going to say, I think that's poutine.
Oh,
poutine. We've been doing poutine long before
it became a thing. Yeah.
Before it became a thing. That's true. It kind of is a thing now.
It is kind of a thing.
But one of the things we wanted to do, because a lot of restaurants have chili, and for a long time we didn't have chili, so we had poutine. Because it's still kind of the same idea of meat and cheese.
Super hearty.
Yeah. And, it's like the hog wings are different than chicken wings.
Yeah.
So this was a way for us to do something a lot different.
It looks and smells so great. And I can't wait to try it. So this will pair with the Sterner's Iron Stout then.
Yep.
So where did the idea for that come from for these? Because I would never, ever, ever think poutine with a stout.
That's those dark roasty flavors in the stout going with those really rich meaty flavors. It's one of those pairings that's complementary. You can contrast or complement, and this is one of those that just plays well together. I mean,
we call those matchy
pairing.
Yeah, because this stout could go with dessert, chocolate dessert,
right.
and just accentuate all those flavors, or cut through, the bitterness of the malt and the hops in this can cut through that richness of the meat and keep this from being overwhelming.
And we just have plain fries for Steph.
They're not just plain.
Nothing wrong with that. They
delicious.
look really good.
I think they have rosemary on them. They're really good.
Steph, you're missing out.
But there's a couple different aiolis too. So
You see your aiolis?
Yes, there are two aiolis.
Would that be aioli?
Same aiolis.
Aioli.
Aioli.
What is this one?
I think that's the garlic one. You tell me. But the second one is the sriracha one.
Ooh.
Oh. People drive to Easton and order the damn fries and get the garlic aioli. Oh my god.
Wayne, what's the verdict? I should have asked you like another 30 seconds later. Sorry about that.
The sriracha one is good too.
Sriracha one apparently is good.
Now we could have
delicious.
We could have perpetuated a vegan hate crime and slipped Steph duck fat fries.
You should have. Oh, you should have done that.
That's right. You do have duck fat fries here, which these are not, right?
No.
Okay.
They're just regular fat fries.
He's like, that's why they taste so good. Wow. This stout, it's so perfect. It goes so well. Like with the savory, chocolatey, roasty notes with the savory saltiness of the fries, and I'm sure the fatty whatever is on top of
The
that.
fatty whatever.
Yeah, that's one of the things with the beer, too, is because we have this awesome food, we need to have beers that go with a wide range of this.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
for sure. But it pairs so perfectly, though. And Dan, like you said, you wouldn't necessarily think it. I mean, normally you'd order like a pale ale or something with a dish like this.
I mean, I don't know that I really think of poutine on a daily basis anyway. Which is a shame.
Yes, you should.
It's a downright shame.
Now you will.
What kind of meat is this on the poutine?
It's a braised short rib.
Oh, I like all of those words.
So are all these food recipes, it's all Jeremy, right?
Yep.
It's a shame he couldn't be here because this is just fantastic.
Yeah, as I was working with him initially, for the business plan, I had to do like a proposed menu. And so then, when Jeremy came on board, he kept some of the things and tweaked some of the things. But him and I are so culinarily aligned that it just, I've never scratched my head and said, what the hell is that?
And this is, like you were saying earlier, a really kind of unexpected but fantastic pairing. Like, I wouldn't, if I ordered this dish, I don't think I would have ordered
I'm
this
hiding
beer.
this aioli. No one can have it.
But they do complement very well.
How often does the menu change?
We've been changing about 3 times a year. Seasonally, take advantage of local produce that's available.
Is there anything that stays on the menu all the time?
Yeah, there's probably a
Like the
core
duck
of,
fat fries,
yeah,
of course.
there's probably a core of about 10 or 12 items that stay. Right now I think we have 30 items.
Yeah, just about 30.
Around 30
Jeremy
items.
is screaming at the speaker right now.
37!
I'm 37?
In a row?
Oh no.
It works in so many levels.
Wayne, can you knife that for me?
No, but this is kind of a Two Rivers classic here, the peanut butter bacon burger.
Peanut butter bacon burger? Did you hear that?
Wait, what now?
Oops. Nothing.
I don't think Dan is leaving.
Probably not.
I have a pallet of grain you can sleep on.
All right, good. The stout goes very well with it.
Good.
The coffee in it really has like an extra smoky level after you have it with the poutine, which is very good.
Yeah, like I said, it's the dark savory meat with the dark roasty chocolatey stout really just takes both of them up a notch.
And it's amazing all the flavors that you can get from a beer like a stout, like the chocolates and the coffees, without actually having those ingredients in the beer.
Right.
Absolutely.
Malts are, everyone always talks about hops and all the great different flavors you get from hops, but not a lot of people, I think, really give the respect to grains that they should get. And the smoky and the sweet.
Yeah, especially
and
the
roasty
highly
and-
roasted and toasted
Yeah.
malts. Between biscuit and aromatic,
And
those flavors.
I don't think people realize that it just takes a tiny bit of
Yep.
some of those really...
a touch of black patent anymore,
Yeah,
and it's an
exactly.
ashtray. But yeah.
One thing I will say about this beer that I noticed off the bat and didn't mention anything, it tastes like it would be higher in ABV than it is. Because it has a really sort of bold, rich flavor to it.
Yeah,
so if I were to guess...
it has a dense body to it.
Yeah, I would have put it closer to like almost 8 to see it.
Even the first time I smelled it, I almost got a little boozy character.
Yeah, which is nice because you get that character and that flavor,
Yeah.
but it is only
But you can
6.8,
have a
which
couple
isn't,
of them.
super low, but certainly isn't as high as I would have expected.
Yeah, it's perfect for this time of year, too. A little bit
Exactly,
a little
yeah.
thicker,
Yeah.
denser, warming. While still being able to walk away.
That's the important
Well,
part.
it depends how many you have, right?
That's true.
This is the stuff I'm not allowed to order at lunch. my doctor had a talk with me about this.
Oh, I thought you, because Troy said you couldn't.
Yep, I was kind of
No, he'd be fine with it. No, my wife and my doctor don't want me to.
Well, they can either have you alive or happy, but
Can't fit in that man way anymore, Josh. What's going on?
A wise woman once told me you can't eat and drink.
Yeah, you can.
I do that
I'm
all
trying.
the time.
You totally can. I don't think she was that wise.
Well, it depends on who it was. Who was that?
Well, she means because you get bigger.
So?
I'm going to prove her wrong.
You're clearly not a woman.
Thank you for noticing.
I thought that was pretty apparent as well.
That's what makes this job extra fun, though, just working with a chef that is so creative and good at his gig.
I know.
Yeah.
Because, it's so true. You either go to a place for the food or you go for the beer.
Rarely
so it's
both.
Nice to have a place where you can go for both. You know you're going to get good beer and you're going to have really good food, too.
Absolutely. And I think that is something that you're seeing more and more places focus on. We were recently at Mad Chef, and that's another place where as much passion goes into the food as goes into the beer. Like, they're both, equally impressive.
Well, I think
go
brew
there for
pubs know
either.
they need to step it up.
Yeah.
Like you said, you need to separate yourself from everyone else because there's 4,000 whatever breweries. I mean,
and I can get good beer at almost any restaurant now, too, so why go to the brewery?
That's true,
why go to the brew pub?
Yeah.
You have to be perfect in both.
So do you guys, coordinate, collaborate between the beer and the menu? Is that like a regular sort of conversation? Like, what do you think we should have? Maybe not with this specific beer in this dish, but in a general sense.
I like to bounce flavor ideas off Jeremy every now and then. I mean, we work together on our beer dinner menus. Mm-hmm. What are you going to have? What do you think of this beer? What do you think of this food? What beer do you have with this? Stuff like that.
Steph perked up at the mention of beer dinner.
More about beer dinners.
Yeah.
Well, this
Thursday.
This Thursday, so a week and a half ago when you're listening.
He thinks so quick.
We're having a beer dinner in this room, in the pig room.
Oh, nice.
It's a Cajun-themed beer dinner. Should be really interesting. We're going to pull out some special stuff beer-wise for it.
Do you do those sort of regularly, or?
Yeah, we got away from it a little bit just with getting the beer on tap and getting ramped up with the rest of the business. But we used to do them.
We had done them monthly when we opened, and then kind of when we got our beer on tap, we kind of gave it a rest for a while. But we would pick a brewery and do a dinner with them. Two of the best. We did 2 beer dinners with Omegang, and they were both Game of Thrones beer dinners.
Oh. Nice. That's cool.
So I got Jeremy. There's a cookbook called Inn of the Falcon cookbook, and it's a woman who took like that type of food and made modern recipes out of it.
Oh, that's cool.
So then he kind of used that as a jump-off point and looked at what beers that Omegang had and played off of that. So
cool. So now that you kind of got the beer flowing, you plan to do more regular sort of beer dinners?
We did one in January.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing one this month. I'm not sure whether or not we don't have one scheduled for next.
No,
month.
we haven't discussed that.
We probably will skip that because the usual week we do it is St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yes.
The holiest of days.
The holiest of days.
And you need to recover from Lehigh Valley Beer Week.
Yes, there is that as well.
But so I would look for one in April from us.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely recommend all you out there in podcast land, keep an eye out for that. And just
Sorry,
like Facebook
we don't have taste vision.
And that it'll be
or
posted.
smell-o-vision.
Yeah.
I was about to ask too, like if there was anything like a bacon specialty on the menu because of this room, and also the Bacon Street sign that's downstairs.
Well, the Bacon Street sign came from, we held a press conference for Bacon Fest here, and so they brought us some of the swag, and that's
cool.
We just kept it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's a sign worth keeping.
But we do have a half-pound bacon slab on the menu.
Oh, what? Point of order, point of clarification. Happy Hour Wednesdays.
Oh, Happy Hour Wednesdays.
Please elaborate.
We do a free bacon happy hour every Wednesday. So from 4 to 7, you get $1 off of drafts, plus you get free bacon. Free.
I hope there's
bacon.
a limit on that free
Wow,
bacon.
do you just like pass around a big pile of bacon on a tray? And everything?
pile.
You get a little bucket, you get your beer, and then you get a little bucket with your beer.
Oh, nice.
That sounds so great.
Sounds pretty awesome.
So, today's Wednesday, right?
It's Wednesday somewhere.
It's Wednesday. Well,
sort of, maybe. That
somewhere in the
sounds
solar
awesome.
system.
Oh, I gotta find a way to come back here on Wednesday.
You just need to find a way to come back here, period.
Well, yeah. Well, especially when the coffee beer is out, the coffee brown.
Yeah, that would go. A week and a half ago during Lehigh Valley Beer Week, during Bacon Happy Hour, we're going to have we had a firkin of bacon brown ale to go with the Bacon Happy Hour. So
Wait, is there bacon in the beer?
there is bacon in the beer. It is not a vegetarian beer.
So you were coming back on Wednesday. We'll find a way to get off work.
I think maybe you could call in sick with the swine flu on Wednesday.
Oh, I love the way you think. Oh, my God. Before I start getting the meat sweats, I feel like I should give myself a little bit of a breather. And I feel like Wayne should actually have to do some work now instead of just kind of sitting there, drinking the beer, eating the poutine. So earn your
That's what
pay.
I do, Dan. I eat the poutine.
Earn your pay.
All day long.
Wait, you're getting paid for this?
It was a metaphor.
Greetings, the internet, and welcome once again to Happy Fun Time. Greetings, the internet, and welcome once again to Happy Fun Time Games, the only podcast trivia segment that has its cake and eats it too, and that cake is pie, because pie.
Can I just point out that the mic stand is perfect for holding aioli cups?
Oh wow, it is. That works pretty well. We need cup holders on our mic stands. That's a great idea.
That is a great idea.
That's a great idea. Speaking of great ideas, I have I would actually like to take a moment and address the internet.
Oh, dear.
The internet. We've known each other for a while now. I feel like we can talk straight. We can open up to one another.
After so many lonely nights together.
I can bare my soul and tell you that I have run out of ideas for games.
I was wondering when this day would come.
That's why we keep playing the same ones over and over again. Not that those games aren't great. They're fantastic. But variety is, as they say, the spice of life. So if anyone out there has a great idea for a Happy Fun Time game, I would love you to do my job for me. And go ahead and shoot me an email. And while I wait for that to happen...
Wayne at beerbusterspodcast.com.
Wayne at beerbusterspodcast.com. While we wait for that to happen, we are going to embark upon the continuation of the beer-education of the Beer Busters Nation that is Libation or Fabrication, the tried, the true, the easy to produce. So we all know how this game works. I will give you the name of a beer. You have to tell me whether that is a real beer or whether I made it up off the top of my head. And we will begin in long-standing tradition to my left. Dan looks very different today. His hair's gotten a lot longer. He kind of looks like he's got 80s mom hair. We're going to begin to my left with Steph.
Oh, my God.
And our first beer of the game is Grilling Me Softly Rauch beer. Is that a real or fake beer?
Real.
Steph is saying that is real. Moving over to Josh. Grilling Me Softly.
It needs to be.
It needs to be?
If it's not, I'm saying it is.
You're
but
willing it into existence by saying it's real. Okay, moving over to Troy. What do you think?
I'm going to say no.
You're going to say that's fake.
I'm fake.
Interesting approach. And finally swinging back to my right to Dan.
This feels unnatural.
I know it does.
Unnatural.
I feel
Most
like,
things I do feel unnatural.
especially when the internet's involved. I feel like I've heard of that beer. I'm going real.
You're going to go real. You are incorrect, sir.
Something else.
What?
Something
You didn't
else
come up with that.
is called. Something else is
That
called
is
Grilling Me
Troy
Softly.
whoa. Before we get out of hand, let's have no table flipping, no rage quitting. Okay? It is not a beer. It is not made with Dan's Pantalones en Fuego.
Yep. I knew it.
That came from
Yep.
our visit to Mad Chef.
That's why it sounded familiar.
That's right.
You clever son of a bitch.
Yep. Grilling
He actually
Me Softly.
listens to the podcast episode.
So Francisco, and actually no. Well, I do. But that was from the outtakes.
Was it from the outtakes?
That was from the
Yep.
outtakes.
So that was going to
Did
be.
you hear the name of his new porter?
I did not.
I did, but I forget.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's right.
Puerto Rico.
Isn't it perfect? His
Awesome.
crew came up with it.
That is pretty awesome. So, if you want to hear all about Dan's Pantalones
You
en Fuego,
tricky son of a bitch.
you can sign up for our newsletter and listen to our
Pantalones en fuego.
podcast outtakes, which is why that sounded familiar to you.
So Troy got the point.
So Troy got the point on that one.
Congratulations.
Good job, Troy.
So we're going to move on.
After
and
that tangent.
After that long tangent, Josh is going to guess first on this beer, and our second beer of the game is called This Is Not a Beer.
Well, I have to say no. It's not a beer. Why would they lie to me?
You're going to say what it says on the tin. Okay, Troy, what do you think?
I'm going to say it is a beer.
You're going to go ahead and say it's real, thinking it's a
Liar label.
a double bluff sort of thing going on here. Moving over to Dan.
I don't know. It sounds like an evil twin beer.
I'm going to go real.
Dan is also going to go
It
real.
is a libation.
It is, in fact, a real libation.
I too will say libation.
Steph, too, will say libation. Circle gets the square. It is, in fact, real.
Yay!
It was too obvious.
Steph, Troy, and Dan, it was too obvious.
Ridiculous.
Yes, it was. It is, in fact, a 9.5% barley wine from Against the Grain Brewery, and they describe it thusly. We took a surrealist approach to this brew and made a truly masterful work of Zymergy. This is not a beer. It is barley rich and toffee-like, toasty and topped with a creamy head. It is hops, firm, crisp, and piney, a perfect complement to a fruity, spicy alcohol bite. It is nothing less than a mind-bendingly balanced American barley wine. This is not a beer. This is art.
I can see the skinny jeans from here.
Me too, and the curly mustache. All right, moving along. Troy is going to guess first on this beer. Our third beer of the game is called Cherry Poppins.
I'm going to say yes, that's a beer.
You're going to say yes, that's a beer. Looking very thoughtful as he says yes. Moving over to Dan. Cherry Poppins.
How about... I'm going to go real. It's real.
It's going to
Why
go
not?
real.
Sure.
Yeah, it's going to go real. Much more casual, though took a lot longer for his response. Swinging back to Steph, real or fake?
I'm going to say real.
Steph is also going to say real. Everybody's saying real so far. Josh, what is
I
your...
have to say fake then.
Oh, you're gonna. I was just going to say, what is your what is your strategy in this moment?
Someone's got to
Do you
lose. Someone
agree
has
with
to
the
win.
because you have no points so
I
far.
know. I'm
You have absolutely no points, and you know what? You still have no points. You still have no points because that is in fact a very real beer.
And now you know why I don't name the beers.
Exactly.
I've heard brewers say that same thing before during this game. This is from Grand River Brewery, which is in Michigan. It is a cherry wheat ale brewed with Michigan Montmorency cherries. Untapped user Megan S. had this rather unfortunate comment on the brew. Expected the cherries to pop a little more. 3 stars.
Wow.
Moving on
Maybe
to
she didn't know.
moving on to our fourth and final beer of the game, and Dan is going to guess first on this one, and the last beer of the game is called Judo John's Sexy Moonlight.
My God.
Wait,
real or
say it
fake?
again?
Judo John's Sexy Moonlight.
Moonlight.
No, Sexy Moonlight.
Sexy.
Sexy Moonlight. There you go.
You know, sounds like you and you're a little too peculiar the way I said sexy. I'm going to go fake.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same
All
thing.
right, Dan is going to go fake.
I'm saying
so
fake
you're
too. That
Steph-
sounds too much like you.
All right, Steph saying fake. Okay, Josh, what do you think?
No, you can't call a beer that.
You can't call a beer that? That's not
That's
allowed?
awful, no.
That is not allowed. Veto. Finally, Troy, you going to go with everyone? You're going to buck the trend. Everybody said fake so far.
Go for the box.
Last question of the game. You're doing pretty well so far.
I'm going to go it's a real beer.
You're going to go, it's a
Darn
real beer.
He's probably...
Real? It's a rear bill.
It is not a rare bill. It is not a real beer. It is, in fact, fake.
Yes!
Giving Josh his first and only point of the game.
Nice.
It is fake. Well, at least I hope it's fake because I refuse to Google it. Because I have learned that it will not be long before all the beer names are taken. And if that ever actually happens, we will never play Libation or Fabrication again.
Then
There's a beer called Judo Chop, Judo Hops,
I figured there would be a judo chop somewhere along the way.
Judo Jesus.
No, you just use the Joe 6-pack random beer name generator.
Yeah, I've done that before.
That's when it's getting real late and he needs to get the game
And I
together.
get the name, yeah. It was only like midnight when I did this last night, so I didn't have to resort to that. These words actually came out of my brain in this order, but not a beer. Although that's how most beers are named nowadays. I mean, let's
Just
be
throw
honest.
like darts at take a couple random
So once
words
again,
in dictionary.
Internet, I implore you, if you have any ideas to send my way as to games we should play on the podcast, I am more than happy to listen. Just remember, they can't really be visual in nature because you can only hear us. So as we end the game, we have to, of course, as become the norm here, go on to our patron roll call.
Woo!
where we
That
give-
means I need to do that.
You didn't announce the winners.
I
think we kind of figured it out.
We know who lost.
Of
the game. Oh my god, I totally forgot. I don't know
I'm just
what's
gonna leave
going
the
on.
music going.
Well, it's funny you say that because you know what we have on our hands, ladies and gentlemen?
Tie.
Not just the tie. We have a German Sparkle Party. A 3-way tie. 3 points apiece. to Steph, Dan, and Troy sitting in the shadows,
And he doesn't have it.
sad and alone, but with 1 point. Not nothing. 1 point,
That's
which is
true.
almost more insulting than none at all, is Josh.
I should have thrown that one.
Okay, now that that's out
We
of the
love
way.
German sparkle parties.
That's out of the way. And now we will go on to our Cue the Music Maestro, our Patreon patron roll call, where we give our most generous patrons a little shout out on the podcast. And we have 2 new patrons we want to say hello to today. Our first new patron is Wolfgang von Colt.
Wolfgang.
I suspect that is not his real name.
Wolfgang.
In fact, I know that is not his
Yep.
real name. And our second new patron, whose real name is Vicky Miles.
Yay!
Thank you so much, guys,
We love you guys.
for supporting us. If you guys want to support us as well and get cool behind-the-scenes stuff, exclusive awesomeness, you can go to patreon.com/beerbusters. Donate a couple bucks to us each time we release an episode, or donate as little as $1 a month. Every little bit helps keep this train moving, pay for things like this big, giant thing full of knobs.
You
that
left
is
out the most important word, beautiful.
beautiful, sitting next to Dan right now, so he can do his sound madness. But yeah, patreon.com/beerbusters.
AKA make you sound good.
Thanks for our patrons, and thanks to our patrons who didn't donate at a level that gets them on the roll call.
We still appreciate
we
it.
still very much appreciate
Absolutely
you,
we
but
do.
you know, we got to keep some things a little exclusive, you know.
This is true.
But spread the love.
Spread the love indeed. Thank you so much to the new and existing patrons. And I feel like Steph needs to do her thing now.
No, your beers. No. Know your beers.
And Steph.
I think the waiter just scooped you.
What?
Wait, what?
He said, "Have you tried the Black IPA?"
Oh.
Did he read my notes?
He must have.
And I think I just stole your thunder.
That's all right. So Troy sent me the list of beers that we'd be tasting tonight, and I was like, hey, Black IPA, that's a new one. It is now officially on the 2015 beer style list.
Dun, 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 dun.
Pretty awesome, all these new beer styles they've added. So I thought, why not? Let's go to the new beer styles and let's talk about a new beer style that we will be tasting.
Next.
We will be tasting next. So here you go. Here's a little teaser for you folks. So Black IPA, which is also considered a specialty IPA, has the dryness, hop-forward balance, and flavor characteristics of an American IPA, only darker in color, and without that strong roasty or burnt flavor. Debittered roast malts are used for color and some flavor without the harshness and burnt qualities. The flavor of the darker malts is gentle and supportive, not a major flavor component, making the beer super drinkable. The Black IPA is a variation of the American IPA style, first commercially produced by Greg Noonan as Blackwash IPA around 1990. The style was popularized in the Pacific Northwest and Southern California of the U.S. starting in the early to mid-2000s. The style is sometimes known as Cascadian Dark Ale, CDA, mainly in the Pacific Northwest. Can I just say how weird it is talking about a beer style only being started in the 1990s?
That is a little strange.
I'm older than the beer.
Yeah.
Are older than the beer.
We're
Wow.
all older than beer.
So the aroma is often includes a stone fruit, tropical citrusy, resinous, piney, berry, or melon character. And if dry hopped, it can have an additional floral, herbal, or grassy aroma. The appearance, of course, the color ranges from dark brown to black. A good head with light tan to tan color. The flavor is medium-low to high hop flavor with tropical stone fruit, melon, citrusy, berry, piney, or resinous aspects. And you can expect medium-high to very high hop bitterness, although dark malts may contribute to that perceived bitterness. The base malt flavor might have a low caramel or toffee flavor, but dark malt flavors are often low to medium-low. Restrained chocolate or coffee flavors might be present, but the roasted notes should not be intense, ashy, or burnt, and they should not clash with the hops. The bitterness may linger in the aftertaste. The mouthfeel is going to be smooth, medium light to medium bodied, without significant astringency, and medium carbonation. Most examples are standard strength, and they consider standard to be about 5.5 to 9% ABV. Kind of sounds like Dan's definition. But some stronger examples can exist and seem more like big hoppy porters when they get to the more extreme end. Overall, Black IPA is like an American or double IPA with restrained roast. Some commercial examples are 21st Amendment's Back in Black, Deschutes Hop in the Dark CDA, Rogue's Dad's Little Helper, Southern Tier Iniquity, and Widmer Pitch Black. And of course,
Nitro Dark Cart Black IPA.
thank you, from Two Rivers. That's like
Which-
quickly.
Which is now on Nitro, apparently.
Yeah, we brewed this. We had Amelia, our assistant brewer here, finished her guild training from the Brewers Guild up in Vermont, and as a reward, she got to brew a beer, and she wanted to brew a black IPA that she had won medals for at homebrew competitions, and we brewed that in the fall, and it went over really well. And
Yay to girls from the Brewers Guild.
right,
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
and we needed a darker beer about a month or so ago, so I wanted to bring this one out, and I thought, well, if we make it a little more bitter, put a little more hop flavor into it, and put it on nitro, it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Definitely sounds like it.
I don't think I've ever heard of a black IPA on nitro.
I certainly have not.
I love having something I've never had before.
And it's appearing in front of you now.
It is like
Well,
magic. It's like prestidigitation.
In that case, I feel like I should do the official thing.
Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Beer me! Round 2, fight.
Okay.
So look at it first. Come on, you just learned.
It is black.
Yes.
Very,
is
very
indeed
dark
black.
brown, black. That beautiful tan head. The creaminess. You can see the effects of the
Ooh,
nitro.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, the
Smell it.
Oh my God, the smell.
I tasted it already. I'm way ahead of you.
Well, you're a jerk, but we still love you. It's okay.
Yeah, we went more with the piney danky than the
Oh, yeah.
citrus. And
Absolutely.
Which was an excellent decision, I might say.
Yeah, my preferred smell as well. But it just goes to show you, like, you look at this, you expect it's going to be a roasty, malty, chocolatey beer, and
You do always say, too, and I like the phrase that you drink with your eyes first. And you're right. You expect this to be that, and then you get hit with the hop bitterness, and it's a nice, pleasant
I
surprise.
love black IPAs, and now
do
I
too.
love black IPAs on nitro.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nitro definitely adds an excellent,
Yes, it does.
excellent aspect
Yeah, we had to
it.
go a little bigger with everything, though, because the nitro dulls
Yeah.
everything out a little bit and smooths it out, and
Yeah.
lack of carbonation. But
That's nice.
yeah, I think it turned out well.
You know, and
I agree.
I think I've said this every single time we've had a black IPA on the show. I've had black IPAs that taste like IPAs but don't look like them, and that's boring. You know, you close your eyes and it's an IPA. But this is another in a long line of black IPAs that do take the IPA, the hop character, and the malt character, and put them together. Where, you know, I mean, the hoppiness is there up front, but the malts come in at the end, and neither is truly overshadowed.
It's
by
a
the
great example of how the perceived bitterness is just accented because of those malts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can dump brewery food coloring, Sinmar, in an IPA and call it a black IPA.
Exactly.
That's not flavor-wise what you should do.
But I mean, I think that's kind of the way Josh approaches a lot of the brewing, is not to do something just to do something. You know, like, we're not going to dump Reese's peanut butter cups in a stout just to do that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what a mess that would be, first of all?
I'm not cleaning that down.
I automatically, when you tell it to say an ingredient like that, I'm automatically thinking about having to clean it out.
Yeah, it's going to clog the spray bowl.
Wow. Yeah, that's good for, like, a firkin.
Yeah.
It's absolutely delicious, and
Thank you.
The nitro idea is just genius. I don't think I would have ever come up with that idea.
Oh, don't call him a genius. I have to live
It's
with it.
genius.
And what about my eyes? Tell me about my eyes.
Brewers get lonely, can't you tell?
Yeah.
So I have to ask, what's that?
Oh,
more
the
food
food that
appeared.
magically appeared. These are our jalapeno hush puppies.
You had me
Oh
at
my God.
jalapeno.
You had me at Hush Puppies.
Oh, I've listened to
You
the
had me at
podcast
food.
once or twice.
He knows our sweet spots.
Which is why we're in a bacon room.
That's true. He's kind of hit everything that each of us loves. Pork,
Hurry up and take the damn picture, Wayne. I want to eat.
jalapenos. Oh, good. He's taking pictures.
Really beautiful food. I have to make sure
It
it's a
is
great picture.
It is beautiful. Which you don't often hear about brew pub food.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's mostly it's your standard fare. It's like deep fried whatever, and then wings, and then the beer.
And what is this ice creamy, buttery looking
Ice
stuff?
creamy.
That's our Mo butter. It is molasses
What?
butter.
Oh. That's why it looks like ice cream.
hops always accentuate spiciness, and I kind of like that with a pairing like that. Just bring each of them up a little notch. Bitterness and heat just play off each other perfectly.
And you know what I appreciate about this pairing, though, is that, IPAs, always a good pairing with a spicy food. But I am kind of a pussy when it comes to spicy foods. So the fact that it's on nitro and it's got the malty character in there is also going to help me quench that fire a little bit. So I feel a little braver right now.
Aw, do you feel like you have your big boy pants on?
I do have my big boy pants on.
Well, I got a fork full of the Mo butter, and oh my god, or should I say, oh Mo god?
Oh, I see what you did there.
I don't get it.
It's good. It's so comforting in every way you want it to be. Like, it's savory, but it's sweet, and it's creamy, and it's good, and
there's extra jalapenos there if you want to top it up.
that's a genius idea. Troy, I think you picked the right brewer and the right chef. Just gotta say.
I knew I couldn't do any of that myself, so I always look to pick the right people.
I've had your homebrew.
Shots fired.
I love it, though, a home brewer that is smart enough to not do the brewing himself.
Well, I think we talked about that a little at our roundtable the other night too, and and what you guys were saying before about do some of the hard work in a real brewery. Don't just think you can take it from your basement to serving it to the public.
Yeah, it's so different. It's so different.
You can't just times 10 the homebrew recipe.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many more components that go into it.
Well, and just that MacGyver ability you need to keep a brewery running with duct tape and maybe.
It's the difference between a 6-hour brew day and an 18-hour brew day. You get yourself in survival mode at that point.
Oh, the pump failed. What do I do?
You can't just call someone. Hey, Troy, come fix the pump. You're the brewer.
Because I would have less of an idea how to fix the pump than Josh would.
A pump? What you got a pump in there for?
Just hit it with a wrench.
Or a hammer.
It's percussive maintenance.
That's what I have to say is nice about this being new equipment. It doesn't really fail all that much.
You just jinxed yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Not yet.
It's going to be Monday's going to be bad.
I mean, with food this great and beer this great, this is going to be up and running for a long time.
This is a good beer to complement the jalapeno hush puppies. It's the hop bitterness kind of plays well with the spiciness of the jalapeno, which I like.
Now, the problem with putting this on nitro is people can't take it home.
We encourage them not to.
Unless you get some nitro cans.
Troy, can we buy that?
No.
Wah, wah. So you have to come here and you have to drink it here, people.
Well, that's I kind of initially had started talking to some mobile canners just with some of the extra capacity we had. And you guys saw how tight the brewery is. We don't have enough square footage for them to come in.
Oh, even for they can't even go on the sidewalk?
Yeah, we're too small, and they didn't seem to want to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Hand bottling it is.
Oh.
You need another
nights.
intern.
It was only a 12-hour day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because once you start, you don't want to stop. Too.
Oh, the Easton sugar's in. You're going.
Yeah. Do you have enough friends? Help bottle.
Apparently not.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way. I realized after.
This episode's going to be called Josh the Lonely Brewer.
Woe is me.
Some men are an island.
So, Josh, what other creative brews do you have up your sleeves coming up?
Well, we just, Weyerbacher was kind enough to throw us some bourbon barrels.
Oh, boy.
So we're going to do a Belgian Dark Strong, like a something 12. Troy will come up with some clever name for that, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Throw that.
Was that like a stipulation? We'll give you these barrels, but you have to put something Belgian in it?
No, they just they were being friendly.
Nice.
Yeah, they're good dudes over there. So we're doing that, and I'm going to be getting in some red wine barrels from a broker down in Percy, and we'll do a split batch, some into bourbon barrels, some into the red wine barrels. Not sure if I'm going to dose the red wine barrels with any wild yeast yet or anything.
I think you need to do both. Like you need to do the bourbon barrels, red wine barrels, and then a funky red wine.
And then a
barrel.
funky batch.
Yeah.
Oh, I
All
think
of
meant-
them.
I
And
thought
I
you
want to
meant-
drink.
I mean, my
all of them.
favorite beer is Oerbier Reserva, which is that big, big Belgian quad in barrels with all kinds of weird stuff. So
With all kinds of weird stuff. That's
Got
the
all
weirdest
the
stuff.
weird
it's Tidal.
It was
Who
in a
knows
barrel
what's in
with
that?
all kinds of weird stuff.
Well, what was the first year? The bottles it was regular Oerbier, and the bottles were exploding, so they dumped it into a barrel and let it sit for a while. I mean,
And then
yeah.
magic happened.
Yeah, magic happened, and now we have an
So
awesome
is the
goes in
plan to
barrel.
keep expanding with the funky beers and the barrel-aged beers?
Yeah, within the limited space we have. Yeah, I'd like to always have something aging away. It'd be nice to do a special release of something like that every quarter at the very least.
And are these, you going to bottle these, or are these going to be...
We'll see. I mean, I like, we've done one bottling run now that was pretty painful and tedious, but yeah, I think it's worth it. And people I think those type of beers lend themselves well to sitting in a bottle conditioning, naturally conditioning them, and then people can age them away until they feel it's to their taste. I mean, I think they're ready to go once they're in a bottle and up for sale.
Drink it now.
Well, and I think we could get some help too. If
Yeah.
if
This
we
was
offered up
this was
some,
me getting bottles and just saying, go, go, go. It's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a little more planning involved. I think it would run smoother.
Just put
offered up-
something on Facebook. Free beer for
Right.
help. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
You'll get a line out the door.
Yeah.
I have old homebrew friends. We'll get it.
You do have
Have the
friends?
homebrew club meeting here. Oh,
Homebrew acquaintances. Sorry.
Homebrew acquaintance.
come on now. I feel bad.
Now I'm excited though. A week and a half ago, during Lehigh Valley Beer Week, we had the Lehigh Valley homebrewers up here in this room for a Malt Mania event, and
How'd it go?
I think it went well. Good time.
Will have gone well.
Will and
been
have
had
been.
by all.
Have been
Yes.
by all.
The fire department did show up, but we won't talk about that.
So we have another beer that has vaporized in front of
Oh.
us.
I think you mean the opposite of
It
vaporized.
is not
Materialized.
aromaless.
No, this is the Colonel Left Eye IPA.
Left eye.
Yeah, I mean, IPAs are at this point kind of the standard of craft beer. I mean, and this is our version of it. It's Mosaic, Chinook, and Cascade hops. It's a very popular yeast strain from the northeast of the country. We don't filter it. We don't fine it. You can tell. But I'm okay with that.
it looks gorgeous.
I have had to filter IPAs before, and I don't think they taste as good. And then here, the first couple batches, we find them for a little bit of clarity, and I thought we were losing hop flavor and aroma just with that. So we don't do anything. Just time and temperature, and I think it tastes pretty good.
It's really good. It's super. I'm gonna like huge grapefruit, just delicious, juicy.
It's all about the hops in this.
all about that.
Well, and that's too. I'm big on. I don't like those rip your tongue out IPAs that are just bitter bombs. I like flavor and aroma. So most 95% of the hops in this are 10 minutes or later. So it's all flavor hops. It's all aroma hops. There's a ton of dry hops in this, and that's the type of IPA I like.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to brew a beer in which the hops shine, like an IPA, I think those late editions are where they need to be. Yeah.
I like the tropical fruity aftertaste. Mm-hmm. It's very pleasant.
Yeah, I think we're where we want to be with this beer. I've played with it a little bit just because it initially had Citra hops, and I can't really source those anymore. But for some reason, I can get Mosaics, which are a pretty hot hop right now, and I think it works well in this beer with the traditional IPA, Cascade hops.
So I'm sorry, but the absolute deliciousness of this beer distracted me from the interesting notes about the name.
Oh, the Colonel?
Yes.
Yeah, Colonel Left Eye. It was Colonel Charles Wyckoff, Easton born and raised, a Lafayette graduate, and he lost his left eye in the Civil War in the Battle of Shiloh, stayed in the Army, and actually was leading the charge up San Juan Hill with Teddy Roosevelt when he lost his life, and he was 61 leading the charge up San Juan Hill.
Wow. That's incredible.
Or it's named after Josh's cat.
Either one.
Whichever story you want.
I know that cat has a lot to accomplish to live up.
Yeah, that's true.
To the other namesake.
Charged up the scratching post. That's about it. It's not the same.
Not the same.
No.
It is the left eye he has, right?
Well, the two with one eye have different one eyes,
Oh.
so together they're
So
a
it
matching
works
pair.
no matter what.
Yeah.
You could do a right eye and a left eye.
If they walk side by side, they see perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aww.
They have depth perception then.
We can watch a 3D movie.
So this is the sort of house IPA. That
Yeah, this is one of our
always-
flagships. This is always on. We'll never run out of it. If we do, I get yelled at. And we haven't yet, so.
I have to ask because I always do, as it's your IPA. Is it your best seller?
Yes.
Yeah.
But back and forth. This and the Pine Tree Blonde, depending on weather.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's amazing. When I worked at the Brew Works, you could see that trend line. It was always in Bethlehem. Golden Ale was our top seller by a ton, and IPA wasn't. It was our lowest seller for a good while, and then it just started creeping up and overtook. My hand signals don't mean anything on the radio. IPA overtook Golden Ales for some weeks, and it's interesting to see that change in the market now.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Oh my
I have a
God,
feeling
is
what
that?
I have is different from what you have.
Holy cow! What is that? Go ahead, smell. It smells like something Parmesan.
These are the mac and cheese balls.
I'm shocked. Well then,
Well, it's deep fried mac and cheese with a tomato-based sauce, and normally they come with andouille sausage.
And I don't think there's anything better than mac and cheese and IPA.
There's nothing better
well
than
said.
mac and cheese and beer, period,
Yeah.
yes. So if I come in the future, or when I come in the future, can I order this without the meat and they'll make it for me this way again?
Oh, absolutely.
Good to know.
or just give me the
See,
andouille.
vegetarian friends, this place is awesome. I told you, Christian, you should have come. I don't know where you are.
Anyway.
And we will do special
my God.
things or alter dishes for really any kind of dietary requirements.
Oh, look at that.
It's so good. I'm sorry, Sheets, but I don't think I can ever order their mac and cheese balls again. What I loved was the aroma of the tomato sauce when the plates cut. Oh, that was so good.
Oh, and that andouille. Oh.
I don't think those are words that Dan just said.
I don't want to do this podcast anymore. I just want to sit here and eat. Is there anything Jeremy can't make?
I haven't found it yet. I haven't seen him make scrapple yet, though, so maybe.
Oh.
Oh, come on.
Nothing
Oh, yeah,
wrong.
you're
There's
vegetarian.
nothing wrong
I
with
mean, I feel
scrapple.
like you can go to him and just be like, Jeremy, I want this. Make it. And he's like, it should
Done.
be. Well, they can probably do the same thing with you. Josh, brew this. Here you go.
Well, I still think for brunch we need the Two Rivers Double Down, where scrapple's the bread, and then you have the fried egg and some bacon in the middle.
You, sir, are speaking my language.
That's a really good idea.
Have you thought about doing any beer cocktails?
We do occasionally do beer cocktails. The problem is they haven't sold well for us.
Yeah.
So, but we are doing 2 beer cocktails we did 2 beer cocktails for Lehigh Valley Beer Week 2 weeks ago. Because they had a Lehigh Valley Beer Week beer cocktail contest.
Oh, cool. Beer cocktails are kind of becoming a thing. And I feel like a place like Two Rivers could master it. Because you need a knowledge of good flavor and good beer.
And we have one of our bartenders is really phenomenal at mixology, and he's come up with 2, one using the sour.
Yeah, and one's using the stout. The peanut one has the stout in it.
So he has rye that has had peanuts in it, steeping peanuts in it. So
Infused is the classy word.
infused, sorry. It was there somewhere, but I couldn't find it.
I saw the wheel spinning.
I can't think anymore.
You know, the other thing we had 2 weeks ago when we did the brown ale with bacon, we also had a special bacon menu for free bacon happy hour that included
I see tears rolling down Dan's face.
included items with a bacon weave. He shut my mic off.
That included what?
Items with a bacon weave.
Oh, man.
A bacon weave?
Yeah, pieces just Bone
like that.
weaving together.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Dan is in a bacon coma right now, so we're gonna move on without him.
Does that mean we get to drink his beer?
No, fuck you.
He's not in that much of a coma, apparently.
So we're moving on to beer number 6 of the evening.
Which I kind of feel like is like the encore of the night, right?
No.
There's
There's more?
Wait, there's more.
But wait.
But wait. All right, well,
now.
let's get through this one first. It smells amazing. Please, Josh, tell us.
Good. The
Yes,
beer,
tell us all about it.
The beer you're drinking is 6th Street Sour. It's a collaboration that we did with Weyerbacher Brewing for Lehigh Valley Beer Week. It's a young brewing, quick sour brown ale that we aged on a really interesting oak blend.
Oh,
And
my
then-
God. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
but that's really good.
Yeah. And then added sour cherries and raspberries too, and I think that oak blend is what makes it pop, though. I mean,
Yeah.
because we brought it's a higher acidity than that beer we had earlier, so you need some sort of backbone in there, I guess, to hold the center, and the oak tannins definitely do that. You get that, vanilla wet oak kind of flavors out of it, and then the sour cherries just makes it pop even more.
Yeah, I mean,
It's awesome.
at the risk of sounding like a hipster, it really does evolve as you drink it. Like over the course of each sip, there's a whole bunch of things that happen in succession.
Yeah,
And it's
first
really
cherries, then it's oak, and
Yeah, and it
It's
ends
just
like you
sour,
said,
yeah.
that subtle, almost there's a slight, almost dark fruit there, and a
Yep.
little vanilla,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
just a lot going on. It's really good.
It's like you said, the sour cherries in there and the raspberries and all. And you expect. I'm back. I'm still baconed, but I'm back.
Well, if anything was going to snap him out of a bacon haze, it would be a beer like this.
Yeah. Well, the vanilla that you get in the back end, it cleans up the sour notes that you have there. But what I really, really like is the sourness and the tartness doesn't stay there. Because that's what I normally don't like about beers that are towards the sour end, because you taste it for a good 5 minutes after you're done. This is just, it's there, you get that flavor journey, and then it's gone, and you want more immediately. At least I do.
well, that's what I think is one of the cool things about these lacto sour beers is you get some of these long aging sours, which are more complex, but you get more vinegar flavors, which do hurt and linger. And
Oh my God, it's cheese.
I feel like a Roman emperor.
I know.
Wood board.
Hedonism
Yeah,
bot.
really nice.
Just give me the whole thing in grapes. I'll be hedonism bot.
and how does cheese not go with sour beer?
Exactly.
Man.
Amen. Thank you. Cheese boards are the best things ever.
That's a
What is here?
beautiful cheese board.
Those are cheese. This is cheese.
Do you know what they are?
Thank you, Mini Josh.
Hold on.
Mini Josh.
Goat Gouda. We have the Double Cream Brie, one of my all-time favorites, Irish Cheddar Porter, and last but not least, Pecorino Calabrese.
Ooh, boy.
Pecorine. He's a gold
Don't bring that name into it.
Pecorine?
No.
Stop talking
Pecorino?
about your pecorino.
I don't know what's going
Pecorino?
on. I'm going to eat some cheese because I'm assuming you're talking about sports.
Yeah, we are talking about sports.
Indeed.
Oh, man. See, I keep getting on my
Sports.
plates dirty. This beer is amazing.
Thank you.
So is it going to be on draft and in models, or just draft?
Draft only. We released it a few Mondays ago for Lehigh Valley Beer Week, and on tap here, I believe Weyerbacher has a keg, and then about 7 accounts out in the region.
Wow, and that's it.
That's it.
Wow. Well, it's delicious, and hopefully you will brew more of it again.
Oh, we'll be doing these kind of weird or interesting things every.
No, I
every
want
now and
this
then.
same
this
beer
specific
game.
one.
Yeah, a game again.
It's going to be at Spinnerstown Hotel. Actually, they have it already. I don't think he has it on yet, but they have it already. It was at the Sour Festival that Josh Palmer had down at Maxim's. Wheels were spinning again. And then it's also going to Grain, Bayou. What were the other ones?
Pearly Bakers.
So it'll be out there, a couple different spots.
I like it because it has the complexity of what is typically a higher alcohol sour or Belgian beer, but at 6%, we're seeing a trend here. I like that. Keep it with the 6%.
Well, that's, I think, too, with going along with the food, you need beer that's drinkable. It can be interesting and flavorful, but you don't want to be in the bag after a half a beer.
You want people to hang out here for a while. You keep ordering. Hey, we'll have another pound of bacon.
One and done doesn't help us.
That's right. So do the cheeses rotate on the cheese board?
Yeah. Yeah, we use a couple different farms locally to source most of the cheese.
I'm trying to rotate the
Look,
cheese.
that was almost something you could have inserted.
I'm sorry, Wayne's like
Troy's gonna-
motioning.
Sorry, I was trying to rotate the cheese on the board like you were saying.
This is not normally how it goes.
Sorry.
The more this warms up, the more cherry you get.
Yeah, I finished mine.
I actually went through it pretty quick. I really like that one. That was really good.
This is, amazing. 6th Street Sour.
6th Street Sour refers to the fact that both Weyerbacher and Two Rivers Brewing began brewing on 6th Street in Easton.
Oh, nice.
The original Weyerbacher location was just 2 doors south from us on 6th Street.
Oh, really?
It's hard to believe there's yet another beer that has been delivered to the table.
I haven't even finished my last beer.
Well, you should probably get on that.
This is a beer that's not on the list. We're going rogue, people.
We're going rogue.
Going rogue.
Off the script.
Well, none of the food was on the list, so we've already been rogue.
That's
true.
And I've never been happier to be rogue. My least favorite of the X-Men, sorry. What is this beer?
So super awesome, Josh. What beer is this?
Oh, nice. This is the Andy Daub Bock. It's a German Bock beer, 6.5% alcohol, and brewed with malt from our friends at Deer Creek Malt House.
Yay!
So
The other Joshes.
The other Joshes. If you're
The other
familiar with
Joshes.
their malt at all, it's mostly the Dutch and the double Dutch.
Yes.
The-
I like a
like
little
the
Dutch.
Hair Dutch.
Super
Hair Dutch.
malty, chocolatey, toasty.
It's got a hair of Dutch.
There it is.
That was a nice hair, Josh.
Wow.
It's got a hair Dutch. Ooh.
Yeah.
It does have a hair Dutch.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's good.
Yeah, lagered about 12 weeks.
Ooh. Very malty and crisp and smooth and
What was it called?
delicious and
Andy Daub Bock.
other positive
all the
adjectives.
Thank you.
This was another in our Great Beers for Great Causes, named for Andy Daub, who many people would know from his ownership of Brown Daub car dealerships. But Andy is also a big philanthropist in Easton, grew up in Easton, and has really made a lot of things happen. And one of the big things that he was really behind was the Siegel History Museum downtown. He was pretty much a driving force behind that. So we did the release party on Tuesday and donated some money to the Siegel History Museum downtown.
So a great beer for a great cause.
Absolutely.
Oh, it is so...
With some great malt.
Yes.
Yeah, and good for this time of year, too,
Yeah.
that rich and nourishing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Big enough, not hot.
What's the ABV on this?
6.5.
6.5.
Yeah, 6.5.
6 is your wheelhouse.
6 really is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Nice
at that point where
He's
it's...
6%, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, it's at that point where
100%
it's,
lonely.
you know you're having a beer.
I didn't say it. It wasn't me. Sorry, Josh is going to say something.
No, I'm
really
done. I'm
insightful.
done.
Yeah, he's got a serious point about beer.
I don't know if I have any of those. It's 6.5. It's strong enough. You know you're drinking something, but enough. Again, I think I've said this before. You can have a few. It's not going to kill you.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Yeah.
And to be in that range and still be so bold and flavorful, like all the beers we've had tonight.
I really wanted you to say bold and beautiful.
Bold and beautiful. It's a little more than sessionable, which is, especially this time of year, a little extra alcohol to it.
Yeah.
But tons and tons of flavor and complexity going on.
I thought you were going to say tons and tons of fun.
Tons and tons of fun. Bold and beautiful.
Bold and beautiful.
Here in historic Lehigh Valley. Bold and beautiful with tons of fun coming at you.
Well, this now is a great encore. Great way to wrap up this tasting segment, right?
No, there's still more.
What?
There's still more?
There is still more.
I think they're trying to get us drunk.
I'm always down for more.
I think they're trying to get us drunk.
Well, with all the food, I think we're fairly safe. I mean, we've definitely put in
I
enough
hit
padding.
food coma before I hit anything else.
Yeah.
For sure.
I can go back to the casino after here.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Hold on now.
Oh, good Lord.
This is our
Thank you.
for the meat burgers here.
Manufacturer.
These are our world famous peanut butter bacon cheeseburgers.
Oh, geez.
I like every one of those words.
And then the burger for Steph is a black bean and lentil burger,
That's all yours, Steph.
That actually looks pretty good.
made in house from scratch.
Oh, wow.
We even soak the beans.
Nice.
In bacon fat?
No.
Yeah, this is another one of those complementary pairings. The richness of the burger with the richness of the beer. Dark meat flavors with the really maltiness of the beer.
Oh my! What?
Yeah, it's like that.
So you approve?
I don't want to swallow. Is there pickled something on this?
Pickled red onions.
That would do it.
And I think that's one of the things that really makes the burger.
Well, you need
It does.
something to cut through peanut butter and bacon. Oh my god!
More bacon. This is insanely delicious.
And this is after he tasted the bacon slab. This is a good burger beer, though.
Oh, definitely.
It's a very good burger beer.
All right, before everyone goes into a coma, I should go get our surprise bottle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
absolutely.
god! What?
So this is our buddy Six Finger Sam's beer.
Oh, all right. It all comes full circle.
Yeah, it's a barrel aged saison in Chardonnay barrels.
Oh my god!
With
I'm surprised Wayne's not drooling right now.
I'm writing down what it is.
couple strains of Britannomyces, the Brett Brooks and the Dree strain, and that aged in barrels for a couple of months. Then we blended it off with a 100% Brett beer into the bright tank, carbed it up so it's naturally carbonated in the bottle, and it's what you have in front of you. It's just right around 6%. Again, right in the wheelhouse. Maybe I'm bad at math. Maybe they're all over the
Do
place.
you know how to work a hydrometer?
No.
Maybe yours is broken.
Shit, I forgot to take a read in. 6%. Just say it's 6%.
It's good enough. They'll buy it.
So what is it called?
This is Six Finger Sam Saison.
6.
This is delicious.
I haven't actually tasted it yet. I've just been smelling it. It smells amazing.
It's great.
Yeah, you get a lot of that Chardonnay character.
Yeah, you do.
Brett, just enough Brett, enough wildness, but it's not, some of those Brett beers are just overwhelming phenolic or weirdness, and this, I'd like to think, isn't that.
It smells amazing.
It is amazing.
Oh, that is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that gets me geeked up to show up to work, doing stuff like this.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Especially when it actually works.
And when you did it. I mean, come on. You had to nerd out the first time you brewed a beer like this. You're like, holy shit, I made this.
Oh, yeah. Well, back at home when I was doing weird stuff like this, yeah. It was, and now to be able to do 7 barrels of it, it's awesome.
Were the cats your assistants at home?
They would stay
Cellar
away.
cats?
Yeah, they just stayed away.
Sour cats.
God damn it.
6% Josh.
6% Josh. I like that
100% lonely.
100%.
No, I feel like we need to take the lonely out of it. I feel bad about that. I keep saving them because I'm like, I don't want to finish this one. I want to save a little. And now I have like 10 glasses in front of me.
Some road soda, it's fine.
Wow.
Once we get label approval and we make sure all the bottles are carbonated up, we'll have this for sale. We'll do a release day at the tap room here and sell the limited amount of bottles we have.
So what's the label going to look like?
It's going to look like Six Finger Sam.
It does have a picture of Six Finger Sam on it.
I love how well the sour plays with the saison.
Yeah.
In this,
Saisons are meant to be soured.
They are.
it goes.
And blonde ales.
Yeah, Saison should be kind of funky and rustic.
Right.
Kind of odd.
But the Brett shines through and really highlights it.
Oh, yeah.
But you still get the Saison notes.
Oh, absolutely.
You do, yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah. Like, when I take a sip, it's Brett and the saison and then the mixture. And then it just
Well, then
washes
like
away.
the spicy
The spices,
notes of
yeah.
the Saison kind of linger with you a little bit.
I get Brett, the Hitman Hart.
Get out.
Sorry.
It's the guy who did our logo, does all our artwork, and he does everything. He starts everything from watercolor, like from
That's
real
cool.
art.
Yeah.
And he actually gave me The other night he was here for the Andy Dobbach release. He had done a poster of Andy for the release, and he brought with him this big envelope with like all the original watercolor stuff that he's done for our logos.
Oh, that's cool.
Pretty neat.
Wow, that's really cool.
I don't know, Dan. Maybe one day these pigs will be gone, and it'll be all his watercolors.
Can he do watercolors of pigs?
I'm sure he could.
Let's have him do that.
Don't see why not.
Why does Two Rivers keep asking me for pig pictures? Well, I'm going to try this again. This is an amazing encore to a great evening. This beer is delicious.
Yeah, this is as far as we can go. Like.
Okay.
Thank God. I never thought I'd say that.
Well, it works out because I don't think I can physically put any more food or beverage into my body.
Yeah, I second that.
Yeah.
This was a fun time, to say the least.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm at.
I don't think there is an adjective appropriate enough to describe the awesomeness
I'm at a
of
loss
this evening.
for words.
Yeah,
Oh my
you have
God.
made the Beer Buster speechless, and I don't think that's ever happened.
Not for an extended period of time like this. And not only that, and I have to point out, and I just caught myself doing this, I can't focus on anything right now.
I can't either.
So I'm just staring blankly at the center of the table.
My vision is blurred.
It kind of is. It kind of is. So if people want to get in touch with you guys, where can they find you on the interwebs?
We have our website, www.tworiversbrewing.com. We also are at Two Rivers Brew on Twitter.
As Steph has found out.
And we have a Facebook page. And probably the most current information is always on Facebook.
Yeah, we update that daily. So
cool.
For clarification, I know that the Twitter is the number 2.
Right.
Rivers. But Facebook is TWO Rivers.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So we've got the interwebs. We've got the social media, the Two River Brew that you can get to. Don't forget, of course, audibletrial.com/beerbusters. Sign up for your 30-day trial. Get your free audiobook. Enjoy said audiobook as said audiobook is said to you. Even I groaned a little bit when I said that. Sorry. And, of course, patreon.com/beerbusters. As long as we're slashing beerbusters, as Wayne would put it. I really wish people could see the weird karate chops you just did.
We're done.
Yeah,
We should do the outro first.
I can't.
Seriously, you need to come here and enjoy these beers and get in a food coma.
And come on a Wednesday. Come on a fucking Wednesday.
But not when Dan's going to be here.
Yeah, no. There will be no more bacon left on Wednesdays when I'm here. But I think sadly, very sadly, this brings us to the end of another episode of Beer Busters.
And the start of a very long nap.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a quiet ride home.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming out.
Josh, Troy, thank you.
Thank you, and good night.
This has been absolutely incredible, and there wasn't one bad one bad item of food or drink. God,
there wasn't one bad food.
When you come to Two Rivers, you will have a hell of a time.
And a 6%.
And you're going to walk out with your belt undone. Well, I am Dan Baker, joined as always by my co-host and brewologist,
Steph Hefner.
and our fermenter-tainer,
Wayne Baker.
Squids.
Bacon.
6% lonely, 94% cats.